Welcome back, guys. Welcome to today's Mic to Mind. And today I'm going to discuss about a new social phenomenon topic. So, have you ever noticed how some people in Asia copy parts of black culture, but only the cool looking parts? So, like braids, dreadlocks, the grills, the oversized clothes, the hood poses, the gang signs, slang from the songs, and like the whole hip hop aesthetic. But at the same time, they often do not understand the history and the struggle and the background behind these things. So, so that is what I want to talk about in this video. And this video is not saying Asian people can never enjoy hip hop or that people can never try different styles, try different cultures, but hip hop is a global now. So rap music, the streetwear, the dance, and the black fashion have influenced the whole world. And the cultural exchange is not automatically and cultural exchange is not automatically bad anymore, but there is a difference between respecting the culture and using it as a costume. The problem starts when people only take the aesthetic but ignore the story. So, for example, let's talk about braids and the locks. For many black people, hairstyles like cornrows and box braids and the twists and the locks are not just fashion. They are connected to history, to identity, to the protection, and also survival. So, black hair has a long cultural meaning. It is connected to African heritage, the family traditions, and also the beauty standards. And also, you can see the resistance against racism throughout the Black African American history. So, but when some Asian influencers or celebrities wear these hairstyles, they often treat them like a cool accessory, as a cool accessory. They do not talk about where the styles come from. They do not talk about how black people have been judged, mocked, or even punished by. They do not They do not talk about how black people have been judged, being mocked, or even punished for wearing the same hairstyles naturally. So they just take the style to wear it for a photo shoot or a musical video, when or music video, and then move on. So that is why many people call it cultural appropriation. The issue is not only who is allowed to wear that, but the deeper issue is that the power and the respect. So when black people wear braids or locks, they can be called unprofessional, dirty, scary, or ghetto. But when non-black celebrities wear the same thing, suddenly it becomes edgy, fashionable, or like cool. That double standard is the problem here. It shows that people want black culture, but not always black people. They want the rhythm, they want the fashion, the attitude, and the aesthetic, but they do not always want to understand the pain, the history, or the discrimination behind it. So this happens a lot with hip hop culture too. Hip hop is not just cool music, it came from a real communities, real social conditions, and real life struggles. So it was a way for people to express anger, to express pride, creativity, poverty, violence, racism, and survival. So rap lyrics are not just random aggressive lines. Many of them many of them come from real environments and real histories. But outside of that context, people often turn hip hop into a joke. Some Haitian people learn slang from rap songs and use it without knowing what it means. They copy the hood vibe because it looks rebellious or funny or cool. So they make hand signs in photos in they act tough. So say words that they should not to they make hand signs in the photos, they act tough. They say words they should not say say words they should not say or imitate black act. They make they make hand signs in photos, act tough, and say words that should not say or imitate black accents as a joke. So sometimes they even use gang symbols like they are just TikTok poses. Honestly, this is not respectful at all. And gang signs are not just funny hand gestures. They can be connected to real violence, to real neighborhoods, to real conflict in real people's lives. So for many people, these symbols are serious. And they are not just an aesthetic for Instagram photos. So when someone copies them without understanding, it can be ignorant, it can be disrespectful, and sometimes even dangerous. The same thing happens with the word hood. Some people use hood like it simply means cool, wild, or funny, but the hood is connected to poverty, segregation, policy, racism, and survival in many Black and Latin communities. So when people who never experienced that kind of life treat it like a costume, that's really rude and being weird. It's like they're playing with another group struggle. They take the style but not the meaning. They take the confidence but not the context. They take the music but ignore the history. So I think this is very similar to the Western middle class lifestyle trend I talked about before. In both cases, people are copying a surface image. With the Stanley Cup and the Lululemon Scuba, people copy the white coated middle class aesthetic. And with race and hip hop music, people kind of copy the black coated street aesthetic. But both are still performances. One performance says, I am clean, rich, healthy, and global. The other performance says, I'm cool, I'm acting tough, I'm rebellious, and I'm from the street. So the question is, do people actually understand what they are performing? Because culture is not just a filter, it is not just a playlist, a hairstyle, a pose, or a kind of outfit. Culture comes from people's lives. It comes from history, it comes from pain, joy, resistance, and the community. So when you remove all of that and only keep the look, culture becomes empty. On TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, everything becomes an aesthetic. Black hairstyles become an aesthetic. Hip hop becomes an aesthetic. The hoop becomes an aesthetic. Even struggle becomes an aesthetic. People do not always ask, where does this come from? They only ask, does this look cool? So that is the problem. For example, if someone genuinely love hip hop, studies, understand the culture, and avoid mocking it, that is different. That is appreciation. Appreciation means you are learning, respecting, and giving credit. But appreciation is when you take something because it looks cool while ignoring the people who created it. And sometimes people get defensive. They say, it is just a hair, it is just music, or why are people so sensitive about it? But that response misses the point. It is not just hair when people have been discriminated against for it, and it is not just music when the music came from real social struggle. It is not just a sign when that sign has real meaning in real communities. Respect means understanding that not everything is yours to turn into a joke. I also think Asian society sometimes misunderstood the black culture because they mainly learn it through entertainment. Many people see black culture through music videos, through NBA clips, fashion brands, or the memes or videos or movies. But those are only like small pieces of black culture. They did not show the full reality of it. They did not show the full reality of black life, the black history, and the black identity behind it. So people create a carbon So people create a cartoon version of blackness in their mind. They think black culture means being loud, aggressive, being cool, being funny, being athletic, being tough, being musical, or being like you from the street. But this is a stereotype. Black culture is not only one thing. Black people are not one personality, and there are many different black communities, histories, and styles and experiences. So when people reduce black culture to braids, rap, slang, and gang signs, they are not really respecting it. They are flattening it. They're flattening it. So, and that's why the topic matters. It is not about canceling people for wearing one hairstyle. It's about asking people to think before they copy. Why do you want this style? And do you know where it actually comes from? Are you giving it credit? Are you treating it seriously? Are you turning someone else's identity into a costume? Because there's a big difference between being inspired by a culture and using that culture like a prop. At the end of the day, hip hop is powerful because it has meaning. Black hairstyles are powerful because they have history. And street fashion is powerful because it comes from real communities. But when people only copy the outside, they miss everything that makes the culture meaningful and important. So maybe before we copy the hairstyle, the pose, or slang word, or a hold aesthetic, or a hood aesthetic, we should pause and ask, am I respecting this culture, or am I just using it to look cool, to act tough? Because culture is not just decoration, and people's history should not be treated like a costume. That's all I want to say today. Thank you.